Hi tech and business students, this is my third time attempting this video and I've timed out each time at 15 minutes. So I'll try to keep this as short and sweet as possible. Get ready to pause the video and take notes. Today we're going to talk about professional branding, which is your own personal brand, and creating a resume, which is your assignment this week. So just for brainstorming purposes, this is nothing you'll turn in. I want you to pause the video and to create your professional brand, make a list of experiences you've had, academic, job-wise, etc. Characteristics that make you stand out. Could be punctual, hardworking, anything that speaks to your professional brand and in a positive light. A list of skills, and those could be skills you've had on jobs or transferable skills that you've gained in school. You're a good team player. If you helped your softball team make it to state, that speaks to your ability to work with a team. Include that. Include a list of accomplishments. Again, these can be academic, these could be outside of school, these could be at your previous job or job you have currently. But any sort of accomplishments you've had, make a list of these things and start thinking of how you can market yourself as a professional. Anything that gives evidence or credence to you establishing that professional brand, list it. And as you're creating and thinking about your professional brand, think about you as a brand. Research what others have done in the field you want to go into. Google them. You can go to linkedin.com. There's many ways to do that, but don't be afraid to reach out to them. See if you can ask them a few questions or just see if there's stuff online about what's worked for them, maybe what hasn't worked for them. Think of ways you can emulate. I mean, you're your own person, obviously, your own being. I'm not saying to copy these people, but look at what has worked for them and learn from it. Always tell the truth in your resumes and your cover letters, whatever your professional brand. Tell the truth. These companies hire other companies to go and verify the information you've provided. Is your GPA really a 3.8? Did you really graduate from this school? Did you really, I don't know, achieve this at your previous job, this stellar thing that you've highlighted? I don't know if they get into that minutia, but just tell the truth. It is better to have a serviceable resume that may not look incredibly impressive, that is honest, than it is to exaggerate and to lie on one that looks a little more outstanding. It will come back to haunt you if you don't tell the truth. Always communicate professionally when you start networking and reaching out to others in your career field. That means using proper grammar, text speak, things like that. Highlight your job skills, your transferable skills that we talked about earlier. Highlight any problem-solving abilities you've had or accomplishments that you've had. And then participate actively online. Create a professional LinkedIn account or a Twitter account. Start following people in the profession that you're interested in. A professional Facebook page. 38% of employers have said and this was from a study in 2015, 38% of them did not hire candidates because of their social media. They had pictures where they're drinking or where they're trying to look sexy or whatever, just things we all do but may not present us in the most professional light. You want to start being conscious of those things and start cleaning up your social media profiles. Start thinking of yourself as a professional and as a professional brand, and have that be reflected in your social media. I want you to, this is nothing you need to turn in, but start thinking of an elevator pitch, a way you could brand yourself in 20 seconds or less if you find yourself in a networking situation. Maybe you're in an elevator with a potential employer, or you're at a conference, or whatever. You might find yourself networking and talking to these people. So think of a brief oral summary, 20 seconds or less, that highlights your credentials, your skills, and includes your career goals. And something in there that makes you stand out from everyone else in the room. You've got to be unique. You need to stand out to these people. They get pitched at all the time. And then following the pitch, have a business card ready to hand them. Business cards are inexpensive now. They're a great tool that you can hand to your friends and associates and people you would like to work for someday. You may think it's too early to start networking since you're still in college, or maybe you haven't even graduated high school yet, but it is never too early to get your name out there. And then they may not hire you until you graduate, but you will have started making connections already. So this professional brand, I want you to think of it as reflecting of yourself, not necessarily your current or former employer. You're the valuable asset. For example, if in my elevator pitch, if I said, "Hi, I'm Kyle Smith, an English professor at Cisco College," that's great, but it's not nearly as compelling or as ear-catching as if I said, "Hi, I'm Kyle Smith, a college instructor with 7 years teaching experience." And then, of course, Cisco College, I'm proud of this job, is a part of that. But again, it's not my professional brand. I am my professional brand. So start thinking of yourself that way. Now, for this week's assignment, you're going to create a resume. And in that resume, you need to go through and include keywords. So go to Indeed.com or After College or Career Builder, one of these job posting sites. Look at others in your profession. Look at the job postings that they list and note any keywords that you notice over and over again. Make sure, I cannot stress how important this is, make sure you include those keywords in your resume. A lot of these companies have software that filter out resumes that don't include keywords. So they'll never even see your resume unless you include these keywords. Include them in the bullet points for employment history or under your skills or accomplishments. Find somewhere in the body of your resume to include those keywords that stand out to you in their job postings. Now here's what your resume needs to consist of: identifying information, a summary statement, education, employment history, interests and activities, and then you can include skills, which is optional, and references, which is optional. We'll talk about these individually. All right, if you're submitting your resume directly to an organization, make sure you include your full name, complete address, phone number, email address, all that information. You do not have to for this particular assignment, but if you were applying specifically to a place submitting your resume to someone specific, make sure you include all that information. If this is you're posting to a job board or otherwise posting it somewhere online, I would omit any identifying information, an email address that contains your full name, your address, your phone number. Leave those things off because scammers go through these job boards looking for people to scam, and someone could start to steal your identity. And they couldn't do it with just that information, but it would give them a good starting point. The summary statement on your resume. After you're identifying information, include a summary statement that's a brief paragraph highlighting 3 or 4 important skills and accomplishments. For example, this isn't me necessarily, but someone like me were applying for educational posts, they could include a summary statement that said 7 years experience teaching at secondary and post-secondary levels, creating engaging curricula, and earning exemplary evaluations from students. That should be students plural. My bad. I would not hire me if I had an error like that in my resume, so forgive me. Proficient in Canvas, Blackboard, and Microsoft Office. Again, I'm highlighting skills. Winner of Teacher of the Year Award 2017. That's an accomplishment. I want to include that. Bilingual in Spanish and English. Again, something I want to highlight that's very attractive to employers. So that would be my summary statement, just as an example. You'll create your own for this resume. After the summary statement comes education. Because you are in college and will be graduating college soon, your education is probably the most impressive thing on your resume, so include it before including your job history. You'll list the degree that you're in the process of obtaining, include the institution, Cisco College, or any other schools besides high school that you've attended, the location of the institution, your planned date of graduation, and then if you have an impressive GPA, I would say 3.5 or above is worthy of listing. Include that, maybe a list of relevant courses, special accomplishments, maybe you made the Dean's List, or you won a special award, a list of honors and awards and things like that under education. Again, if you haven't won those honors and awards, or if you don't have a sterling GPA, leave it off. You do not have to include this information here, only this. Employment history, this is important, so pay attention. You will include the name of the organization you worked for, the location, your dates of employment, and your position or title there. You have to include all that, and then add some carefully selected details. Here's where your bullet points come in under each job that you've had. You may not have had any jobs or many jobs, but if you had, make sure that you start each bullet point with an action word. Notice these don't start with I, they start with an action word, a verb. So reorganize the weekend shift, resulting in a cost savings of more than $3,000. Wrote and produced a 56-page parts catalog using Adobe InDesign. Supervised 30 workers. So reorganized, wrote, supervised. Action, action, action. Show that you are a professional who is active, who gets things done. That's why we begin each of those bullet points with a verb. Also, anytime you can show a measurable, you saved a company more than $3,000. You wrote a 56-page parts catalog. Any numbers, stats, statistics, anything that saved the company money or increased their profit, especially. You may not have anything like that, but if you have, include those measurables. Those are called measurables, and they're very attractive to employers. Under interests and activities, make sure to include participation in community service or volunteer work, hobbies that are related to your career, sports, athletics, 4-H, anything like that, anything that requires teamwork, highlight that in your interests and activities. University or college sanctioned activities, and do not include negative hobbies like gambling or drinking. Obviously, that goes without saying, but you'd be surprised what people include under interests and activities. And then don't include things that are so general that everyone does, like meeting people or reading. Everyone does those things at some point. So make yourself stand out here. This may be the one place where you can really shine on your resume. So make it count. And then also you can include skills. If you have certain skills, like you're good with Google Slides or Google Documents or Microsoft Word, anything like that that's related to your career field or potential career field, include those under skills. And then finally, here's an example that you can go by. This is Alice P. Linder. Here is her contact information. She's got a summary of her qualifications and her accomplishments. She listed skills and ability up here first, and that's fine. You'll probably begin with education. She's got that outlined here. Employment experience, relatively short. Again, she's just beginning her career. That's to be expected. Honors. Instead of honors, that could be interests and activities, or it could be honors, however you want to frame that. And then additional information. At the bottom, yours doesn't have to look exactly like this, but this is a great format to go by, an excellent template. I will include this on Canvas for your reference. But do make sure you include these things in your resume. Identifying information, at least your name. You don't have to include your phone number. Include your student email address. Summary statement, education, employment history, interests and activities. References and skills, those are optional. All right, try to keep your resume to 1 page or less. Most student resumes are 1 page or less. As you become more seasoned in your profession, it's okay to have more than 1 page. But for now, try to keep it to a page. Keep the design professional. Make it look nice. No grammatical errors like I had in this PowerPoint. If you have any questions, email me. That's all you're doing this week. You're going to work on your professional brand. You won't turn that in. And then start your resume, and you will submit that for your assignment this week. All right, thanks, guys and girls and men and women. I don't want to be ageist or sexist, so I will include all of you. I hope you have a great week, and I look forward to seeing these resumes. Make them count. Make this something you could actually use.